Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, enemies and friends, welcome to the show that never ends. You are tuned into On the Real Reviews this time, and it is that time. It's that time of the year that our corporate overlords, Disney, has given us a new sanctuary to pray at. It is none other than Star Wars. The Force Awakens. Oh, no, not The Force Awakens. The Last Jedi. Last Jedi.
Come on now. Episode 8.
All right. And I'm your host, Steve Johnson. And joining me today is the last best hope for the Resistance. Okay. You knew what that was about. Oh, it was all about this, Mr. Woods.
What up?
There's a skeleton crew today. But this is a non-spoilers review. So
non-spoiler.
We're going to talk about this thing real quick and
in and out.
Boom.
We'll get into depth, right? A little later.
All of that.
You know, with the spoiler review.
Wait, did you say we'll get into what now? Depth. Okay. I thought you said something else. I was like,
no, depth.
I was like, take it easy.
No, come on.
We know a lot of stormtroopers die.
Exactly. So, they're red shirts.
Exactly. So,
right.
All right. Just go ahead and start us off while I take care of some technical things. Tell me what you thought about this thing.
All right. So as far as the, I did like the film. First and foremost.
Oh boy,
I like the film.
Smells like there's a butt coming.
No. There's no butt. Nope, not yet. I like the film. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the cinematics, the cinematography.
Okay, there you go.
The what else did I enjoy? I enjoyed the score.
Score, okay.
If I could hear it.
If you could hear it.
In terms of the film that I saw, I enjoyed the score. I enjoyed there was character interactions, because that's what when you go to a Star Wars film, you go for the friendships, you go for the universe, you go for the grand scale of the star destroyers and the ships, and these unique creatures, aliens, if you will. And obviously the lightsaber battles, and there was some lightsaber battles, and there was some good lightsaber battles in this. And so
would you say some of the best lightsaber battles?
No. I for me personally, I'm sorry, to anyone out there who may disagree with me, but I wouldn't say this was the best lightsaber battles in terms of lightsaber on lightsaber, right? Lightsaber versus lightsaber. No. But what I did enjoy was that there was more, you got to see more styles, right?
Right.
So that was more fleshed out. So, and I'm not giving anything away. Kylo Ren's character, his fighting style with his lightsaber was more fleshed out, and how he wielded his lightsaber. And man, that's something that, as fans of the books and the video games and things like that, you get to see these different styles, and that wasn't really introduced until probably episode 1. When you got to see the dual lightsaber, and then from there it just kind of really manifested into all these multiple styles of using lightsabers.
Yeah, so Force Awakens always felt to me more like Kylo Ren's lightsaber feels like a broadsword.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And that's the way he kind of wields it. Whereas in episode 1,
where it's heavy, it's it's hard to use, it's hard to wield.
Right. Also, because it's kind of like, I guess if you're looking at like the lore and the canon and stuff, it's like homemade. You know what I mean? He got a kyber crystal somewhere, and then, if you look at episode 1, and that's not what we're here to talk about, but episode 1 felt more like it's like it was more influenced by like kung fu films. It was more influenced by
you're holding like a bamboo stick,
right? Exactly,
and you're moving it around, right? There's a fluidity to it, so
right.
So anyway, so back to episode 8. I enjoyed the film. I enjoyed the spectacles of that film. That was what was going on.
As a Star Wars film, how Star Wars was it?
It was it was a dual thing going on where it was Star Warsy, and then there was moments where it wasn't. So you could see that they were trying to push the envelope in a slightly different direction, but I felt like their hands might have been tied because episodes 1 through, I believe it's going to end at 9. So just
okay. Let me stop you right there.
Okay.
It's never gonna end.
Well, no. I mean, just
you don't spend $4 billion on Lucasfilms and just say it's gonna end.
Just in the terms of the canon of the Luke Skywalker.
Careful.
Look, just in the canon of the Skywalker Chronicles, right?
Okay.
I think it's safe to say that in terms of that, their hands are tied in a certain way. In terms of how they want to film it, in terms of how they want to produce these things, in terms of how that story is receptive to the fans and how we are used to seeing these films, right? Because real quick, and again, we're talking about episode 8 here, but real quick, Rogue One was a different film. You know what I mean? And so...
Rogue One was the darkest Star Wars film.
And it was in some ways it was darker than episode 3, which episode 3 was supposed to be a very dark film. So well, no, you have to understand, look, don't be mad at Hayden Christensen.
I didn't say nothing about Hayden Christensen. You brought that up.
No, I'm just saying you got to understand the gravity of what he did in that film, right? What a Darth Vader was doing in that film. He was killing younglings. That's dark. That's it. There's nothing else to talk about. So again, with episode 8, what my point is just that in terms of their hands possibly being tied and where they want to take these films, and they did do some really dope things in this movie.
I definitely think they took chances.
Yes, they did, and I enjoyed what they did in this movie. What happened? What's his name? Rian Johnson. Rian Johnson. Yes, I enjoyed what Rian Johnson did in terms of some of the elements of the film. And then there's other things that I didn't like.
I saw the Force used in ways that I didn't know you could use the Force in this.
So it introduced you to a new way of utilizing the Force.
Yeah, I mean, but I don't know that was ever anywhere in the canon that you could do that, but that's, again, there are no spoilers here.
It's not required for you to search, but yes, there is, it's hinted. It's hinted, yes.
Okay.
So
how
as a moviegoer, you don't have to.
How do you? And again, don't give away any spoilers. But how did you feel about the treatment of you saw the trailer, Luke and Leia,
right?
Without any spoilers, no plot details. But what do you feel like? Do you feel like they honored those characters?
Yes. And actually, and you know what's interesting? I felt strong sentiment for whatever reason. I don't know if it's because of the unfortunate passing of Carrie Fisher.
Right.
But there was
more weight whenever she was on screen.
There was weight when she was on screen, and there was just this. I felt the bond. I felt like it was a genuine bond between Mark Hamill and Carrie Fisher. I felt like there was a genuine bond between Princess Leia or General Leia at this point.
Don't disrespect.
General Leia and Luke Skywalker. I felt like there was a general bond between them. Something that wasn't it was manufactured in the past, and it just didn't feel that way. It just felt real. I don't know.
I'm just gonna put that out there. Saying that there was a bond between them is a little bit of a spoiler, but.
Well, I don't think so. I don't think it was. There's a bond. There was a real bond between them. That it's brother and sister.
Right. Okay.
And it felt like brother and sister.
So
that's what
I think that the emotional weight of the film lay on Mark Hamill and Carrie Fisher.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
And if there's a lot more comedy. There are a lot more jokes in this thing than the trailer would let on.
Right.
And I don't know how I felt about that until you think, okay, well, it is a Star
But
Wars
it's
film.
Star Wars, so there's always been comedy. I think it's just been
No, but you have to understand. You know, when you're coming off of Rogue One, because that was the last. I know it's not like in chronological order,
right? Exactly.
but you come off of Rogue One, and we know how that ended.
Right.
It didn't end well. But and then you show me the trailer. Then you show me the trailer for this,
right?
And it feels darker, and then I get into this, and it's like it's a little too much porgs here for me.
Well, yes, the porgs merchandising, but aside from that, I did feel there was some darkness to this film. You know, could it have been darker? Yes.
Hey man,
it can always get darker.
Listen.
But I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the performances. I enjoyed the actors. I enjoyed, man, you know, how would you say that? The set production or the
cinematography?
No, I already said cinematography, but just the set locations. I mean,
yeah, no.
Oh, man,
this is okay.
Beautiful,
okay, here's the thing
beautiful,
I will say. Here's what I will say about the film, and I want to get into what you liked and what you didn't like, and then give this thing a score because it's late and we didn't want to run this thing too long.
Right.
This is the most beautiful and well shot Star Wars film ever made. Hands down, not even close. There's no Star Wars film that looks better than this. Full stop. That is irrespective of how I feel about the plot and action and whatever. This is the best looking Star Wars film.
I have to do something.
You don't want to say it because then like you're weighing it against all this other stuff. This is the most beautiful Star Wars movie, and
there you go. Yeah, that's you. That's Steve. Everybody. That's how he gets. That's where he goes. He's willing to just.
No, I'm not willing to throw away the past, but this is the best looking Star Wars film. That's not a hard thing to say.
This was you know, just like I said, those shots were just beautiful, left and right. You know, all the scenery was beautiful. You know, and as massive as it was supposed to feel, it still felt contained. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, and I guess in that, I want to say real quick as we move on, is that Star Wars typically feels massive because there's all of these different planets and you're bouncing around. And this felt very contained. And I don't know if everyone will feel used to that in terms of how it moves along.
So it's like it's a smaller story.
Yes, a smaller story in within the universe. To me, personally,
honestly, you know what? You might be right. It does remind me a lot of Rogue One in terms of like. Not even Rogue One was still kind of all over the place, right? They had one place they were trying to get to.
But you were following key characters throughout, whereas Star Wars typically takes you to Naboo and here and there and Coruscant.
This was like this film, without spoilers, they were in two places.
That was it. And the second place was space.
Like this is the biggest budget, low budget.
Yeah, you know what I mean. So it was, you know, so. That's to me where another thing that for typical Star Wars fans you might be a little like, well, we're not traveling anywhere else. What's going on? But
all right,
that's
pros and cons, and then we're gonna score this thing and call it a night.
So pros, it's still a Star Wars film, and
add Star Wars,
and there's nothing wrong with Star Wars. Give me all the Star Wars. I'm cool with that. Again, like I said, the character interactions were very good.
And again, this is the non-spoilers review. So if you think we're being vague, it's on purpose. We want you to see it and form your own opinion. And we are gonna get, as John Snap says, we are gonna get sweaty about this movie over the weekend. We're gonna give you a chance to see it, and then you could add us.
So character.
Normally I say don't at me, but on Saturday. We're going to get into it because there's thoughts, but please.
Character interactions, set locations, cinematography. Again, just it worked. The score, it's Star Wars. I'm cool with it. Lightsabers, the battles, I'm cool with it. The cons was, again, as concentrated as I still felt a little disjointed in the meat and potatoes of that story. It felt a little disjointed for me in terms of pacing, and it was a long film. So
it's the longest Star Wars film ever made.
And so I know that in itself sounds ridiculous to say, but in the pacing, it was like, okay, we have to move this along, we have to move this along, we have to move this along. And for me, it just kind of was like, all right, well, what happened here?
See,
I mean, I know this happened. I know you don't have to spell it out for me like this, but I can do a little. You could do a little bit of spelling out. That's
honestly,
just from me personally.
I kind of feel like the film, as long as it was, it never dragged. I never felt myself like looking at my watch like, oh damn.
I felt like it dragged a little bit. Personally,
that's cool.
Right.
I just think like for everything that was going on.
Right.
And again, we said it only takes place in like 2 locations, right. But technically 3 locations. There was a little side mission that probably didn't need to be in the film. Now that I think about it, so maybe you could have cut out about 15 minutes out of this thing.
Yeah.
But it was action packed in that way that for a 2.5 hour movie, it doesn't. To me, anyway, it didn't feel like 2.5 hour movies. Like when I looked at my watch, it was like, damn, it's about to be finished, and I kind of didn't want it to be done yet.
And I will say this last thing, and is that when we got there to these moments, I'm like, yes. And the problem that
it was satisfying.
No,
okay,
not completely.
Scary.
Because when we got there, I didn't get enough.
Oh, so they left you wanting more, isn't that?
It could have been more.
Isn't that how they're supposed to do it?
So I know I sound a little, I'm contradicting myself as I said, like, oh, the pacing and this and a little bit, but just go see the movie, form your own opinions.
So you think people should see it?
Absolutely.
All right. Now, for me, I think that the pros of the film definitely outweigh the cons.
Okay.
There are certain characters that, while I feel like justice was done to them, I would have liked to see them go a different way.
Okay.
And
remember, not spoilers.
We're not. Look, I know what I'm doing here, Chief.
All right.
So I definitely think they respected the lore and they expanded upon it. I did think that there are certain. I think porgs are there just to sell toys. I know this whole thing is to sell toys, but like it was like in your face. We're selling you these pork toys. We know this is going under the stock, stocking stuff. This is the stocking stuffer. So
it's going under the.
I don't know how I felt about that, but
You don't like your advertising that blatant when it just tells you like, hey,
man, you gotta.
This is what it is. You like to be tricked.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Let me think. It has to be like Inception, but
okay.
Let me think. I came up with the thoughts about this thing, but anyway, it was very Star Wars, and I'm gonna say this now. Obviously there's lightsabers there, so there's gonna be lightsaber battles. They are satisfying.
Okay.
Luke is doing most of what you'd expect and some things that you wouldn't expect, and I think that's a good thing.
Okay.
I think every moment that Leia is on screen is bittersweet. I think that they are positioning the new cast, which is Finn, Rey, and Poe, into the old archetypes, and they are sort of taking the story forward. I think after Episode 9, you don't see any more of the old.
Right. Okay.
I think everybody is, whatever happens with them, I think that it will be all about Rey and Poe and Finn. No. This is what I'm saying. I'm just saying, going forward, I think that's what the story will focus on.
Okay.
And I like that. I think that this is what the whole thing, and this is from The Force Awakens to now to what they're leading you to, is that this is about the new generation. Right. And it is about passing the torch. Right. And as someone who sort of grew up under the influence of the original Star Wars, right, this is it sort of makes you come to grips with the fact that you are aging.
Times are a changing.
Right? And that this world belongs to another generation. Absolutely. And all your role is now is to teach that generation. Yeah. To give them, and you will not always do the right thing. You will falter. Right. But you give it your best, and you don't give up. Exactly. And that lesson from this film, and I don't think that counts as any spoilers, but that to me was the power of what they're doing with this new trilogy. Yes. That and selling toys, but you have to pass the torch. Right. This is not. I don't know. Something's happening. But this is not Han's story anymore. This is not Leia's story anymore. Right. This is not Luke's story anymore. Right. It is about handing the torch off to Finn, Rey, and Poe. So with that, let's score this thing, because I think we're having some technical difficulties, and I want to make sure we're good before the stream cuts out. Right. But give me a score. I try to buy you some time to think about it.
Yes, I had to think about it. So I'm going to give it an 8.
An 8?
Yes.
Now, is that your definitive score? You will have one more chance at the spoiler review.
I give this an 8, and I'm just being honest with the audience that I have to sleep on this a little bit, and it's a soft 8.
A soft 8. Okay.
For right now. But I'm just being honest.
By the way, shout out to Ricky. I think it's Buchanan, but if you're watching, we see you, and we appreciate the eyeballs, the eye money.
Thank you.
But you give it an 8.
I give it a soft 8. But again, I'm trying to be as thoughtful as possible. And so I need to sleep on it a little bit. I'm sorry, I'm not at that point where I can just spit fire a hard score and stick with it, and that's it, and this is what it is. I'll get to that point eventually, but I need to sleep on it. But it's a soft 8 for right now. But I do recommend going to see this film, and it is a Star Wars film, and I love Star Wars, and I think you will love it too.
Okay, it's my turn. All right.
It may go up, it may go down.
Now here's the thing. I do have a bit of a rant, and I will save that because it's like more towards movie theater chains wanting money and not delivering a good product. Right. But that has nothing to do with this film. Okay. Suffice it to say, we were in a theater, a high-end upscale theater, and the sound was off, and we complained about it, and they didn't do anything. And so that sort of ruined my experience a little bit, and I don't want to berate the film because this theater chain is a bunch of
it's not like we're getting free tickets to this.
A bunch of so-and-sos. So movie premieres. I will say that if you love Star Wars, if Star Wars is your meat and potatoes, if Star Wars is your jam, you will love this film. Yes. I am more of a Matrix and comic book guy. Don't at me. But as a tacit Star Wars fan, because I don't want to lose my nerd credibility, I've seen all of them. I watched some of the cartoons. I listened to some of the audiobooks.
You don't got to lay out your credentials right now.
But the point is, I know my Star Wars, and this was a Star Wars film. It has everything you're looking for in a Star Wars film, and it is true to the characters, and they take chances, and they do unexpected things. So see it, and let's be honest, you're gonna see it anyway. Right. Let's cut the bull crap, okay? But I am gonna give this thing again, rating it against the Star Wars franchise itself.
Okay, gotcha. Right? Okay.
I am gonna give this film an 8.75. I need to watch it again, and that score may lower or raise.
Okay.
Because I'm just taking into account that some of the things I was upset about was more so
flex 8.75.
8.75. It could go up to a 9 because there's moments in here, and this is impactful for the state of the whole universe and whole franchise. Like, this film is consequential.
Right.
When I first got out of it, I'm thinking like nothing happened, but then when you think about what happened, some stuff happened. I'm trying not to curse here. So I'm going to give it an 8.75. Okay. I will say this, and this is where I'm going to leave it at. Right. I don't think it was better than The Force Awakens.
Okay.
And that's that. Like I said, fight me. But with that, do you have any closing thoughts before I take us out of here?
Why woods, why not?
Okay, that's it. That's it. All right.
Or whywoodswhynot.com. But yes, you check out we're going to do a spoiler-filled review of this thing. Go for the
hard sell.
Yeah, and so...
Preferably after we've watched it a second time.
Yeah, we probably got to see it again. And
we have to give Disney more of our money so they can recoup from that Fox sale. But that's another story for another show.
Because Disney cares so much. So... we're going to do that, and we're going to we're going to thoroughly go into it and really dissect this thing and take it from there. But for right now, listen, man, I have no qualms. Go out and see. I do, but go out and see it, enjoy it, appreciate it. It's Star Wars, man.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, if you are still watching, praise be. But go ahead and do us a favor, like and subscribe. You can see all the stuff that we do here. We have our weekly On the Real show. That's On the Real proper, where we do a little bit of the news of the week. We like to play a little bit of games, have a little bit of fun, and we like to dig deeper into the things that we all love, film and TV.
Yes, sir.
We've also got another show, The Second Page. That's more if you're into politics. You can tune into that. Right. But that is about it. And just don't forget to come back for the spoilers review.
Yes.
We are going to go. It's like going Jones when we get to that.
Yes.
But again, Star Wars, The Force Awakens.
No, man.
No!
The last
guy. Goddamn Jedi.
See how you put your credentials on the line?
Crazy.
But just take a side.
Yeah, man. Thank you. And that's it.
This is episode 8, by the way.
Episode 8.
Yes. All right.
And that's a wrap.
Yes.